tonight on Evening. It's a cozy season getaway to Victoria, BC. Climb aboard this new spa and soak up the scenery. The historic hotel and restaurant getting a new lease on life with a top chef who's cooking with fire.
I guess you could call me like a pyromaniac if you want.
And the BC distillery making whiskey with seaweed.
Welcome to the show from Victoria, BC, where fall is the perfect and coziest time of the year to visit. I'm St. Brian, and we are starting our show off at the historic Fairmont Empress Hotel, a landmark here for nearly 120 years. But there is another landmark in town. It's right over there, and what they offer is pure relaxation.
This Tacoma-built 1943 naval vessel has found a new life in Canada, one that's much more relaxing.
Worked really well for us as a platform. We went through an extensive reno of it and a gutting, because when we looked at it, it was all rusty and half sinking, and we had it at dry dock for several months, and then we spent the better part of a year building it out into what it is now.
What it is now is Haven, an innovative outdoor space. It's all about the water.
The experience is a self-guided hydrotherapy, which is basically the transition between something that makes your body feel warm and something that makes your body feel cold, which has a relaxing aspect to it, and it's very therapeutic. And there's also a social aspect to it.
This floating spa initially had a tough time getting afloat.
The community at first had a lot of pushback towards it because they weren't sure of it and they didn't like how it looked, and is this really going to fit? And that's completely flipped. We don't really have naysayers anymore.
Haven has 2 hot tubs, 3 saunas, and 2 cold plunge pools that can get down to a chilly 37 degrees.
Oh, it's so cool.
There's also a salt scrub and relaxation lounge.
We like to look at it as a healthy third gathering space in the city.
There are only 2 rules: no technology, that means leave the phone behind, and no talking in some of the spaces.
You have to go through, for lots of people, the uncomfortable act of just sitting still and being quiet for extended periods of time, but in a way that's completely comfortable, because you're sitting in one of the silent saunas not saying anything, or you're sitting in a hot tub looking over the harbor.
Not all of Haven is silent. This new type of third place is social, but it's also a place to recharge instead of consume, and a place to find some warmth as summer fades away.
I think that the shift to the colder months is really the time that you can get the best value out of an experience like this. It's the perfect cozy season. It goes right along with a pumpkin spice latte.
As you might guess, Haven is enormously popular and gets booked out weeks in advance, so you're definitely going to want to plan ahead. Well, this is the cozy season in Victoria, and we've got the first look at a boutique hotel we think you're going to want to consider, especially if you appreciate attention to detail.
A historic landmark in Greater Victoria is getting a new lease on life with help from a top chef and the Crown. Built in 1906, this mansion was a private residence. Then, after World War II, it became the Old English Inn, complete with Shakespearean cosplay. Today, Rosemead House is poised to welcome guests. This luxury boutique hotel has 28 opulent rooms. No 2 are the same. Architectural details and original art fill the place. Even the restrooms are richly detailed. And there are some royal touches fans of a popular show may recognize. The curtains and pink chairs in this sitting room are from the Crown. Rumor is the new owner also purchased the Buckingham Palace gate replicas from the show, and they'll be installed here as well. The restaurant Genevka has another TV tie-in. Top Chef Canada finalist Andrea Ulrich is at the helm.
This is something so special. This property, the history.
And she's bringing the heat.
What do you love about wood fire cooking?
A lot of things. I guess you could call me like a pyromaniac if you want. For the latter part of 10 years plus now, that's all I've been doing is cooking with fire, and I'm obsessed with it. I can't live without it. Everything about it, the smell, the flavors, the smoke, it's incredible.
Expect Janepka's wood-fired fare to be fresh from the land and local waters, and expect a curated and cozy experience at Rosemead House.
We want to really focus on the hearth of the fire, the warmth that that brings, and just bringing everyone together for a great time.
The Rosemead is a hotel people are already talking about. To learn more about the hotel, go to our website at king5evening.com. Well, no trip to Victoria is complete without a visit to one of the world's most beautiful gardens, and the cozy season offers its own surprises.
When Jenny Butchart transformed a limestone quarry into a garden back in 1904, she never dreamed it would blossom into a global destination.
From the Netherlands.
Taiwan.
New Zealand.
From UK, yeah.
Butchart Garden is heel mooi. Yes.
Beautiful. They are stunning.
很漂亮的花园，花很多种，造型造得很丰富多彩多姿，让人流连忘返，会想一来再来。
Seeing guests wander in wonder never gets old for Butchart Gardens CEO Dave Cohen.
One of the best parts of our job here at the Gardens is watching people from around the world, literally every country on the globe, come and, for example, see the sunken garden for the first time, and it literally is an epiphany.
1 million visitors a year take in the garden's 55 acres of color. The bright blooms turn guests into plant paparazzi. But the best way to see this place is to put the phone away and soak it all in.
Gardens are three-dimensional. We've got at the ground level beautiful beds, and as you walk by the beds, we do plant for the olfactory sense. As you look up into the trees, there's different colors and different shapes. So I think if Jenny Butchart came back today, she'd recognize her garden, but she'd be very pleased that we've kept it up and maybe even made it a little bit better.
And you do sometimes just get to do what we're doing now, right? A peaceful walk through the garden. It's got to be one of the most rewarding parts of your job, I'm thinking.
Yes, either by myself out on rounds or with another staff member. Oftentimes we walk and meet and walk and talk. It's much better than sitting in a meeting room.
That's perfect.
The Butchart Gardens may have 50 full-time, busy gardeners keeping it perfect, but it still does the same thing all gardens do.
Well, I love the gardens. I really do find inspiration walking around every day when I've had a hectic, long week.
It slows life down to the pace of a plant, something to savor, no matter what part of the world you call home.
Really reminds us how special this National Historic Site garden is, and really it makes us more committed to preserving it into the future.
The Butchart Gardens is open year-round, and you want to talk about your fall colors. You'll definitely want to check out the maples in the Japanese garden. They are on fire. And they grow their own pumpkins in, of all places, the compost pile to display in the fall.
Up next, where you can sample seaweed whiskey.
Yeah.
And explore a family cidery taking apples from tree to toast.
Cheers to fall.
Yeah.
Portions of Evening sponsored by Destination Greater Victoria.
Welcome back to the show from Victoria. I am on the Fairmont Gold Terrace here at the Empress Hotel overlooking the Inner Harbor. And when they say this is the best deck in Canada, they're not kidding. And right next to me, I have the Lavender Haze. This is a tart cocktail made with 1908 Empress gin, and it is as delicious as it is beautiful. Something else to sip at this time of the year, cider. Let's head out to a destination apple orchard where you can mingle with the apples before you drink them.
The apples coming from this orchard is in that glass right now.
Call it apple alchemy. Every fall, Seasider Farm outside Victoria, BC, transforms bitter fruit into something better.
A lot of the best cider apples you would not want to eat.
Absolutely. No, they're terrible. They're inedible, but they make for exceptional cider.
Kristen Needham's family farm, with a view of the Sailor Sea, has been growing organic apples and making them into cider since 2004.
You know, when we started out, it was really with the idea that we wanted to change the way that people thought about cider.
Seasider makes dozens of varieties, including an alcohol-free temperance series, and a blend made from apples members of the community drop off in this bin every fall.
It's called our crowdsourced cider.
This limited release is another sign autumn has arrived, according to head cider maker Molly Crandalls.
Witch's Broom is our favorite fall seasonal release. It has cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger.
Each fermenting tank is also part of the farm family, named for the folks making the cider.
So this is Kristen.
Seasider also offers behind-the-scene tours and a cafe with a seasonal menu. Plenty of reasons to settle in and savor the hard work these apples do every autumn.
Is there anything better than cider on a fall evening outside with friends?
Maybe a fire, but a good cider is definitely a way to enjoy a fall evening. Cheers to fall.
Yeah. You can find Seasider products in the States, but we recommend heading out to the orchard itself. There's nothing quite like having a glass of cider right there. It is the classic cozy experience. Now, if you're looking for something that is stronger and maybe a little bit stranger, Victoria is also home to a distillery that makes whiskey infused with seaweed. That's right, seaweed.
It's an unlikely pairing, but seaweed harvested from Canada's pristine waters makes darn good whiskey. Macaloney's Distillery in Victoria infuses peat from Washington State with kelp to make this one-of-a-kind sugar kelp-infused peat whiskey.
It's smoky and sweet and kelpy.
It's so popular, the instant it goes from barrel to bottle, it flies off the shelves. But time your tasting visit right, and you might score a pour of this sea-inspired spirit.
Yeah.
Woo.
Truly a whiskey meant for sipping, not gulping, as I learned. As far as the taste of the kelp, it's more of an aftertaste. It's quite pleasant, and whiskey enthusiasts love it.
Up next, one of Victoria's best-known celebrities shares some love for her hometown and talks about the inspiration for her latest album. Local stories make a difference, with the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Welcome back to the show from Victoria. Just 35 minutes north of here, you can take a memorable walk among the treetops.
Malahat Skywalk is a 10-story spiral that reveals views of both Canada and the U.S. At the top, an adventure net suspends folks over the chasm below, and a slide sends them down the fast way.
Have fun. Remember to lean back.
But best of all, the 5% grade means nobody has to wait at the bottom. The scenery is stunning, but the best view might be when you turn around and watch people enjoying a walk in the sky that anyone can take.
All right, here's a question for you. Who is the most famous person from Victoria? Well, with 35 million albums sold, my guess is Nelly Furtado. And we recently got to talk to her about her hometown.
I love everywhere in Victoria. I love just like the ocean, and it's basically beautiful everywhere. It's so green, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, Victoria may be her hometown, but looking back on her formative years, Nelly says Seattle also played a big role.
Nelly Furtado's mega hits, Say It Right, Promiscuous, Maneater were the pop soundtracks of the aughts. songs so strong, there's a new generation of fans hyping them on TikTok. That's inspired this pop icon, who grew up in Victoria, BC, to make new music.
I kept kind of hearing my music everywhere, and it felt like I was called back. It felt like the industry kind of called me back to make more music.
Her new single, Corazon, just dropped, and a much-anticipated studio album, 7, is on its way. Corazon is a collab with Colombia's Bomba Estéreo. It's also solid proof Nelly is getting better with age.
You know, I'm a woman in my 40s now, and I think I've been through a lot of life lessons, and I'm able to put those lessons in the music. I mean, that's what the song Corazon is about. It's about, like, you can make mistakes, and you can just, like, you know, you can stumble, but, like, as long as those things came from the heart and you were following your heart, you're always good.
This hitmaker also says that long before she used that flip phone to collaborate with Timbaland, one of her musical influences was Seattle.
All my favorite radio stations as a kid were all from Seattle, because I had a radio when I was like 12. I had a little like radio with an antenna in my bedroom. And in order to get the Seattle station, I'd have to put the antenna like fully up, and I think I might have even added like a bit of tin foil to the top. I don't know. I'm lucky I grew up in Victoria, because Seattle's music scene is so epic that I feel like I got to experience it somehow. You know what I mean?
Nelly says when she tours her new album, she's going to want to make a stop in Seattle, and we bet she will also stop here in her hometown. Well, it is fall. A change of the season means it's time to change up the garden, and our expert Cisco has some ideas.
It's fall, winter's coming. You want to put in something that's going to make this container look great. But I'm going to do something even cooler. I'm not going to put a bunch of flowers in here. I'm going to decorate this all with foliage, and wait till you see how great it looks. Okay, I picked out a bunch of really cool plants. This is a Monterey cypress. It's called Wilma Monterey cypress. Has that wonderful golden look. So to match with that, I'm using Euphorbia blackbird. So this is going to stay nice and dark colored all winter long, which is just what I want. When you're planting a plant for foliage, what you're thinking about is texture, form, and color. Also, I gotta hope I can cram all these in. I'm not too sure, you know. All right, this is a tassel fern. Now, if you're, right now, you folks watching this are going, wait a minute, this plant's probably in sun. What am I doing putting in a fern that likes shade? Well, in the fall and winter, plants that like shade can go in sun, no problem at all. Now, in the summertime, this would burn up, so I'll dig it out and put it out in my garden. So, ooh, look at that dark green color. Look at the foliages, the textures. Oh la la, okay. Now comes the big challenge. I gotta somehow get this really cool heuchera that I got in there. I'll do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. This is a really good heuchera. It's called obsidian. And obsidian, of course, means black, and this is almost black. Here we go. You can do it, buddy. Ahua! Okay, one last thing, and that is you want to water it in. Now, I added in some good organic fertilizer in here, and now just got to water this guy in. Oh my gosh. Has anybody got a tissue? I think I'm gonna cry. It's so beautiful.
Every one of his stories brings tears of gardening joy. If you'd like to know what plants Cisco used in that story, we've got them all listed on our website.
More from Victoria, British Columbia when we come back.
That is going to wrap things up for us here in Victoria, BC. Our thanks to Fairmont Empress for letting us hang out on the best deck in all of Canada. For more information on visiting Victoria during the cozy season or really any time of the year, visit tourismvictoria.com. Thanks so much for watching, and you know what? Here are a few more reasons to visit.